Bit of drama in that last match, Carl.
Yeah, it looked like Billy was out of it, and then often we see the players stage a little bit of a comeback, which he did, and he did have a chance in the last rack, hooked himself, and that was the end of that. So now this is a big match, this one, Michael. Both players yet to win today, so one of them will get their first win.
Albin Ouschan then, who's had a mixed week, to put it mildly. Runner-up in the first group, but really struggled in the second. And as you say, Carl, not been a great day for him so far today.
That's a good break off though. He's got a shot at the 1. First glance 2 looks like it's tied up, but it's a dead straight combo onto the 7. 6 ball is a little bit funky, but good news is after potting the 6, what I've spotted is the 7 won't be on the table because he can get rid of that with the combo. So he'll be playing from the green 6 to the 8. So this is a nice table layout for Albin.
Years of age, Albin Ouschan from Klagenfurt in Austria. Been established for some time now as one of the leading players in the game, and never more so than 2016 when he won the World Championship. Fantastic achievement at any time, but when you do it with the path that he had, even more so. Beat Jason Shaw in the quarterfinals, Alex Pagulayan in the semis, and then Shane Van Boning in the final, and pretty comfortable really against all of them, especially against Pagulayan and Van Boning. Going one better Ouschan than 2 years earlier when he'd got to the final and lost to Niels Fyen.
Extension called.
He was part of the winning European Mosconi Cup team last December, of which you were vice-captain, Carl, under Alex Lely, and really given his record in the Mosconi over the years, there's no way he was ever missing out on a place in that team.
No, obviously with you know, with what happened with COVID and all the restrictions and all the pool tournaments that got cancelled, me and Alex, we was able to pretty much pick the team. And off the very first phone call, we just felt he was the guy that we wanted. We both wanted him in the team, so that was, you know, done deal. Not just obviously very good singles player, but Mosconi Cup is, in some ways, it's not really about the singles, as daft as that may sound, because the pool players play singles all year round. And with Albin Ouschan winning 2 World Cup of Pool titles and obviously having such a good record in previous Mosconis, that was the reason he was in the team. And this is just the start you would have wanted. He's got this 8 ball in the side. And just make sure you navigate position to the 9. And you're off and running. Kelly Fisher just broke off on table number 2. Of course, she's playing Darren Appleton. She's losing that match 3-2.
Perfect start for Albin Ouschan. A break and run in the opening rack. And he leads Billy Thorpe 1-0. Could all have been a very different day for him so far. As said, he's lost his first 2 matches, but they've both been pretty close. Hill finish against David Al-Qadi, and then only 5-3 in his match against Niels Fyen. There's been a lot of talk over the first 2 days about his approach. He's been getting down on himself and everyone else, and banging his cue and throwing his hands in the air and looking pretty miserable at times, I think would be as good a word as any. Been a bit of an improvement today, still 1 or 2 concerning signs, but that'll do him the world of good in terms of his mentality. That opening rack over on the other table, Darren Appleton As you say, Carl, leading Kelly Fisher 3-2. Fisher's already had a win today. In her opening match, she beat Mieszko Fortuński by 5 racks to 3. Appleton, 1 win and 1 defeat, beat Billy Thorpe 5-0 and then lost 5-2 just a short time ago, really, to Niels Fyen.
Yeah, and then she's playing a jump shot. Main goal is to make sure you jump over the balls and hit the one, which she has, so that's kept her alive in this rack.
Can we call that match the Pontefract Derby? I just did.
You can say what you want, Michael. Yeah, and it's the tight match. Kelly Fisher's been playing some good stuff in this event, of course. She did lose in the final last night, but she's here to live another day and battle on. She keeps going.
First look at Billy Thorpe then. That's 3 down on the break. Well, look at this. Can almost chalk it up as 1-all already.
Yep, there's been 4 or 5 of these type of breaks where literally the balls just go over the pocket and there's no traffic, there's no clusters. This would, I mean, even you would probably knock these in, Michael.
I wouldn't be putting any of your hard-earned money on it though, Carl. Anyway, I wouldn't have broken as well as that in the first place. Well, I've not been keeping stats on it, but I wouldn't say there's been many matches, well certainly not many and possibly not any this week where we've got through the first 2 racks so quickly, as we inevitably will have done in a few seconds' time.
Yeah, it's been clearly a quicker day at the office today, hasn't it? And of course we've brought in the shot clock. Not really heard many, you know, extensions being called as such. I think just in the back of the players' minds, it's not like they're getting rushed to play. It's more when there's no shot clock, they're stood there for 2 minutes, literally for no reason. That's the issue.
Oh, look at this. Now, Billy Thorpe missed a 9-ball in the opening rack against Darren Appleton earlier, and it really set the tone for the match. And what a chance this is for Albin Ouschan to strike a blow. Almost certainly going to pot this, but then I guess we would have said that about the one that Thorpe has just missed. Looked for all the world like it was going 1-all, with a break and run each to start.
Yeah, you can see Billy sat in his chair in the distance.
Oh, Ouschan's missed it as well.
Wow, Albin Ouschan, he's just still not at the races, is he? He's really going through the motions. And I know he's been practicing hard for this event, so it's definitely because he's, you know, he's not been practicing. It's all between the ears, Michael, I'm afraid.
What's the second one?
Well, the whole mode of the match just changed dramatically there, twice in the space of about a minute. Thorpe looking for all the world like he was going 1-all, missed the 9-ball, and then Ouschan with an even easier 9-ball to open an unexpected 2-0 lead, but he's gone and missed it as well. No wonder he's turning his back to the table. He probably wants to forget it's even there after a shot like that. Well, an extraordinary finish to that one, and it's 1-all.
Yeah, we've only been on air for 3.5 hours and we've already seen a lot of drama. There you see Albin Ouschan. Can't even bear to look at the table. He really wants to just smash his cues over his knees, but he knows it's not the right thing to do.
It's almost like he's subconsciously hoping when he turns around again it'll actually be 2-0, be a different world where he's potted that 9-ball. But what a mistake that was. Can't afford those at any time, but when you've already lost your first 2 matches, even more so. So a very eventful second rack. I'm sure Albin Ouschan never wants to see this again, but we can't see enough of it because we just can't believe he's missed that.
Scores 1 each. Albin Ouschan.
Well, I've just had a glance at table 2. Me and Michael are sat in comms box, of course, and there's a little table where we can see table 2, and Kelly Fisher hooked Darren Appleton. Darren Appleton got down and just smashed all the balls everywhere, so I don't really understand what's going on there. He didn't even try, I don't know if you've seen it, Michael, he even tried to get out, he just whacked all the balls around the table.
No, I just couldn't take my eyes off all those replays of Ouschan's missed 9 balls, so I didn't actually see it.
Yeah, so it's eventful times on both tables at the moment.
Ouschan's had a bit of good fortune there, finishing on the 1 like this, and he acknowledged it with a raised hand.
Yeah, at first glance you could see Albin kind of raise the butt end of the cue up, and often the players, if it's straight, you can kind of swerve the cue ball a little bit and it'll kind of swerve up table. It's quite a neat little shot. You might have to play that shot. Needs cue ball to slow down or find the line of the 7 and the 6. It's not that bad, Albin, come on. I know it's not landed how you wanted, but it was a difficult shot, drawing it off the 2 rails. It's still alright, you can roll this in, and you'll have a long shot on the 3. When of course he's at the table and he's going through the motions, it's very easy for us to sit here and, you know, judge and criticise, but he's feeling the pain.
You made a very good point there a moment ago when we were talking about the shot clock, that players were taking an inordinately long amount of time on some of the shots. But at times they weren't even studying the shot, and Ouschan was the prime offender really. There were times over the first couple of days when we didn't have the shot clock where he'd spend 2 or 3 minutes over a shot, and the first sort of 30-45 seconds of that would just be walking around the table with his head hanging low, not even looking at the shot. So you're absolutely right, it really was literally time wasting.
Yeah, and also I think the referees was wasting a bit too much time as well, if we're going to start throwing blame games out there, Michael.
Kelly Fisher with a simple 9 ball is about to level up at 3-all against Darren Appleton. She's been starting each day really well. She's won her opening match on each of the 3 days now. And on one of those she went on to win her second as well. That was on Monday. Could repeat the trick today.
So Albin needs to make sure he lands low on this brown 7. That will offer easy position for the 8, and that's fine. So he's ended up taking these well. Just needs to make sure he gets this shot right, and it should be rack over. Yeah, he had a nice angle. Needs the cue ball to slow down a little bit.
Not sure we'll take anything for granted after what we saw from both players on the 9 ball in the second rack. Yeah, but he can't miss this one. So Albin Ouschan and Billy Thorpe both still looking for their first win. Ouschan with the upper hand at the moment. He leads by 2 racks to 1 in Milton Keynes. We'll have more in just a moment.
Maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Albin Ouschan.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution.
Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table.
This championship is being played with the new Aramith tournament set. Featuring a unique molecular structure, it guarantees razor-sharp precision and unsurpassed longevity. Unquestionably the best pool balls in the world, this set is available in a TV and a value pack version, as well as in the new My Aramith Ranger of Ball and cue cases. Now you can bring and play with the best ball set everywhere you go. My Aramith, bringing new dimensions to your billiards experience.
Albin Ouschan had an absolute shocker on the 9-ball, which cost him the second rack, but other than that, it's been good stuff so far from the Austrian. A couple of breaking runs, and that's why he leads Billy Thorpe 2-1 as the man from Ohio comes to the table to start us off in rack 4.
Update on table 2, Kelly Fisher's got a simple 8 and 9. If she does pot them 2 balls, she will get herself on the hill and will be 4-3 up in the Battle of Pontefract.
It's turned out nicely for Thorpe.
Yeah, Billy the Banker Thorpe has got a shot on this yellow one. He's playing it into the left centre, cue ball running up off the top rail for the blue 2 in the same pocket. And he's missed it. And from that camera angle, Michael, it looks like he has got second best prize.
Yeah, it's got to be concerning for him though, some of the balls he's missed. The 9-ball in the opening rack against Darren Appleton was key. There were a few more in the course of that match. Saw the 9-ball he missed in the second rack here, albeit that it didn't end up costing him because Ouschan had an even worse miss straight after that.
Yeah, Albin Ouschan's in a tricky position here because he can't play the jump shot. The 2-ball is too close to the 1. So he's not got enough time to land. Now he's playing off the top rail, and look where he's aiming. He's going to really spin this cue ball. Yeah, the 8-ball was in his way, so that's why he was aiming so far wide.
So in the end, Thorpe's miss doesn't cost him anything at all. If anything, it's helped him because now he's playing the 1-ball with ball in hand. Can put himself in prime position straight away and keep himself there. You were talking, Carl, about the importance of doubles in the Moscone Cup. These two actually faced off against each other 3 times in the Moscone in Coventry in December, not including the team match, of course, where basically everyone's up against everyone. And all 3 of their encounters were in doubles. It was one each day, actually. Ouschan teamed up with Jason Shaw to beat Thorpe and Skylar Woodward 5-2 on the opening night. The following night, Ouschan played with Eklund Catchy, and this time Thorpe was paired with Shane Van Boning. It went hill-hill. The European side won that 5-4. On the final night, though, Ouschan was playing with the world champion, Fedor Gorst. against Thorpe and Chris Robinson. The Americans needed to win that actually to keep the contest going, and they did by 5 racks to 3 before Jason Shaw clinched it in the next match against Shane Van Boning. So that's the history between these two. In the present day, over on the other table, Kelly Fisher is rapidly closing in on another win here against Darren Appleton. Looks like she's going to complete at 5-3 to follow up on her win earlier today by the same score against Mieszko Fortuński of Poland.
Yeah, Kelly's got 3 balls left, and they're all sitting fairly pretty, so it would be it would be a big mistake if she didn't finish the table, to be fair. Billy's played a nice shot to get on the 8 ball there. Michael, Billy's only played 2 matches. He's lost 2. We've seen this happen in the previous 2 days. If you can grind out a win here, he's still very much in today's play.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it, and we will see it over and over again. I mean, David O'Cady yesterday got off to such a bad start, turned it round a bit, and it's gone the other way for some players. That's the nature of the tournament. So 2-all in that one. And Kelly Fisher has got another win under her belt. She's beaten Darren Appleton by 5 racks to 3. So 2 matches and 2 wins, and she can carry that momentum now straight into her next match against Niels Fyan, who she's already beaten this week on 2 occasions. And that's coming up in just a few minutes' time over on the other table. As for Appleton, well, his day has started to ebb away a bit after that 5-0 win over Billy Thorpe. In his first match, he's now lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, and Darren's next match will be against Albin Ouschan, and that follows this match right now on table 1. So Albin will stay on the table. There we see the league table, Group 3, Day 3. David Alcade only just missed out on qualification yesterday. He's on 3 out of 3 wins. Niels Fyan, 2 out of 2. Kelly Fisher, well, we're not surprised here, are we? She is the story of the tournament. Even though she's not qualified, I think she's still the story of the tournament.
Well, that match between Fyan and Fisher is massive now, because they're both on 2 wins out of 2. So someone's going to move on to 3. And we'll be beyond the brink of clinching a semi-final place. Well, Ouschan has run out from the break both previous times he's had it in this match. His break off in the 5th rack has given him some chance to do the same again.
Of course, we're still on day session. I'm just going to run through table 1 of the evening session. The card is David Alcade versus Appleton, Billy Thorpe versus Niels Fyan, Thorpe versus Kelly Fisher, Alcade versus Fisher. That's a nice card on table 1 to look forward to tonight. But back to today, Albin Ouschan is at the table. He does have a shot on the 1, and he's got to play a delicate little draw shot back for the red 3. Well, he's topped it instead of 2. Did have a bit of angle at first. I thought he was dead straight, and that's a wonderful shot, to be fair. That was not easy. Made it look very easy. Easy to overspin the ball. Just put a little bit of spin on it. I mean, it's fair to say, Michael, Albin's demeanour is night and day today.
Yeah, and we were saying this earlier, weren't we? The shot clock was bound to help with that, naturally. I mean, he had acknowledged last night online, went on and apologised for his conduct over the last 2 days, so that was a good sign. But also the fact that you're limited on time, there really isn't the opportunity to have any post-mortems on the previous shot and start engaging in all sorts of gestures and throwing your hands around. The way things were going, you thought he might be the first player ever to call an extension under the shot clock rules just for the purposes of admonishing himself before the next shot.
Yeah, and his demeanour has been a lot better today, but he's not managed to get a win yet. He's played 2, lost 2, so still needs to find his first win of the day.
I think he's let the format get to him a bit, because it is a format where inevitably you're going to lose some matches along the way, maybe several of them in one day, and I think that's bogged him down a bit.
Yeah, it is a new format. This inaugural Predator Championship League pool, put on by Matchroom Sport, sponsored by Predator Q's. Albin is a Predator player, using the Revo shaft, the carbon Revo shaft. So this 9-ball will edge him closer to victory.
Yeah, he's using his braking racks very well, taking them all very efficiently. And into the lead now for the 3rd time in the match against Billy Thorpe at 3 racks to 2. And if he can win this one, well, the ideal situation in this format when you've just won a match is to be straight back on the table for your next one, and he will be against Darren Appleton. He'll be going into it on the back of consecutive defeats in his last 2 matches. So just as it can all turn against you, and the momentum can go against you, as it has for him a number of times over the last few days, if you do the right things, you can start turning it around quite quickly. Remember, 4 wins doesn't mathematically guarantee you a place in the semi-finals, but it's highly unlikely you wouldn't get through after doing that. Generally, I think the target is 3, and if you can get 3 wins and have a good count back of racks, then you can get yourself through. It's possible to get through to the semi-finals with 2 wins, but it's not going to happen very often. Remember, the top 4 out of 7 at the end of the round-robin section will go through to the group semi-finals this evening, which will be followed immediately by the group final. Whoever wins that will join Chris Melling and Eklund Kachi in the winners group. Still 4 more places to be filled after that. Only 1 player will be eliminated. That'll be whoever finishes in 7th place. But the runner-up, the beaten semi-finalists, and those in 5th and 6th will be back tomorrow for Group 4, and we'll be joined by Noyuki Oi from Japan and Kristina Tkach, the young Russian player.
Billy Thorpe the break, trailing 3-2.
A young American player, Billy Thorpe, needs to start turning it round again. He's trailing for the 3rd time at 3-2.
Another nice break off there from Billy. And it's a very generous split, so it's a good opportunity to tie this match up. First glance at the table, doesn't look to be any major issues, so of course this is all about cue ball control.
He's only 24 years of age. Started making an impact around about 2017. He won 3 tournaments that year, 3 the next year as well, most notably the Turning Stone Classic. And then 2019, which was really the last full year of action before COVID hit. He was among the top 10 money winners in the world for the first time, with more than $70,000. A lot of that came from the Mosconi Cup, but he also had another win at the Derby City Classic that year, which helped him along, and he won 2 divisions at the Derby City early in 2020. In fact, he was pretty consistent throughout last year in what limited schedule there was. And he's already had some decent showings since the resumption. He was runner-up to Dennis Orcolo in the Texas Open back in November. And even at the age of 24, his career prize money is already well over $250,000. He's become something of a Mosconi Cup regular. He's played in all of the last 4, although he's had a losing record in all but one of those. That was in the American win in Las Vegas in 2019. He spoke with huge excitement about playing in Coventry last December, particularly after getting so little action during the year. But apart from the opening team match, which the Americans won, he only had 1 win out of 4. So like most of the Americans, he really wasn't able to deliver that week at the Ricoh Arena.
And that was such a poor shot Billy played from the 7 ball. I mean, He's rectified the problem, but the cue ball should be nowhere near the rail, especially where the 8 ball was.
Yeah, and he's missed a couple like this already today across his various matches, hasn't he?
Yeah, so he needs to stay still.
Ouschan went in front for the 3rd time. Thorpe has equalised for the 3rd time. So we're heading for another very close finish here on day 3 in Milton Keynes. 3-3. Back in a moment.
Maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Albin Ouschan.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution.
Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
We've seen a couple of very unexpected misses from Billy Thorpe, not for the first time today across all the matches he's played, but other than that it's been pretty high quality stuff. And it all leaves us with Albin Ouschan and Billy Thorpe, both still looking for their first win, remember, level at 3 racks apiece. So Albin Ouschan has made great use of his breaks, hasn't he, in this match? Now would not be a good time for it to start failing him.
So he's made the wing ball. The brown 7 could come and spoil the party, and it does. It lands right in front of the cue ball. So Albin's no shot.
Neil's fine, off to a good start on the other table. Won the opening rack against Kelly Fisher. Both of those players with 2 wins from 2 so far. And Fine has broken off, and there's a couple of balls. Well, he's got 3 balls down already actually in the second rack, so a very good chance to open a bit of breathing space there.
So Albin's called the push out. He's going to just bump the 8 on the rail, which then stops the pink 4 going down the rail into this pocket. That's like a bit of an insurance. If a player can often do that on a push out, they usually will try and tie a ball up. That's what we call it. Yeah, and this battle between Billy and Albin is turning out to be quite an important one because they're both looking for their first win today.
Play again, yeah.
So Billy's having none of it. He puts Albin straight back into the table. Needs a good cue ball here. If he doesn't get a good cue ball, he's going to leave Billy a chance. And he has left Billy a chance. Billy would love to play this shot and try and leave the one ball on the table as well. He doesn't want both balls to go in the pocket.
Well, that is exactly what's happened. It's a 4-8 combination now, Carl.
Yeah, that's very difficult. Just because whenever you're playing a combo, you want to be right behind it. And with the cue ball being all the way over here, it's difficult. Very difficult. I mean, you might play the 4 into the 8 and get the cue ball over towards here. Yeah, he was playing safe. He was trying to get the cue ball over to this side of the table. I mean, a little bit harder, and the 8 would have gone in, so...
Yeah, probably regretting now that he didn't go for it full-blooded. Hasn't been in front yet in this match, Billy Thorpe, remember?
Now, this is an interesting situation. Albin can bank this 4 into the bottom right-hand pocket. Oh, that was tight. I didn't even think that was on, so...
Yeah, didn't see that gap at all.
The issue with that shot is, if you'd have banked it in the bottom right pocket, cue ball could have come round for the purple in the same pocket. Now he's banked it in the side, and he's no shot.
That's called.
Well, when I say he's no shot, I mean there's no obvious pot. He's obviously got some kind of chance of a combo on the 7, a safety shot. I think he's playing the combo. He's trying to play the purple 5 onto the brown and knock the brown in the side. Not easy, plus he doesn't know where the purple's going, and he's got to control the cue ball, so it's a tough shot. And he's missed it.
Just over on the other table, Neil's firing 2-0 up on Kelly Fisher. And Fisher has broken dry in the 3rd rack and left a sitter on the 1 ball. A good chance for Fine to go 3-0 up there. Remember, whoever wins that will join David Al-Qaedi in making it 3 wins out of 3 so far. And the way this rack has played out, it's starting to look like a very psychologically important one. Even more so if Thorpe takes the lead for the first time at the point in the match when it brings him to the hill.
Here on table 1, the struggle continues for Albin Ouschan. He lost in the final on day 1. Yesterday, he had to win his last match against Ralph Souquet to stay in the event. And he's about to go 4-3 down in this match. And if he ends up losing this match, he'll be on no wins from 3 matches.
Yeah, and Billy Thorpe will have the break in the 8th rack. And remember, apart from this rack, all the others in this match have gone to the player who's broken. So that could be a very significant moment not just in the context of this match, but in terms of both players' campaigns. Billy Thorpe, remember, hasn't won a match yet since he got here. This is the first group he's played in. Heavily beaten by Darren Appleton 5-0. Went hill against David Al-Kaidi, but still ended up losing that one as well. Is he going to get his first win at the third attempt? Niels Fine very much on top here, as I was saying. He's been a semi-finalist in both of the first two groups. Well, that is not the greatest shot of his long and distinguished career, Carl.
Yeah, he's way under it, that shot, and you could see he was flinging his arm as if to say, hit the ball, Niels. This should have been a lot easier. Still fancy him to make the shot. Could even bump into the 9. Yeah, he's fine. Managed to dig into it. Missed the 9. He's on the 6. So back in prime position in rack 3. Of course, in these group formats, as time goes on and the day unfolds,
leading 4-3.
Little stories start to unfold, and there's a big story unfolding on table 1.
Oh, now has the 3 just blocked the 1 there, Carl?
Yeah, and just look at the little cluster of all the balls near each other, so I'm sure at some point somebody's going to be hooked down in that vicinity of the table. And it's not Albin Ouschan. That is a very, very poor shot from Billy. He's missed a trick there. And I think Albin's got a good chance of laying Billy in a, well, let's put it this way, not a shot you want to be playing. Well, and that's not Albin's best shot. The cue ball should have been jammed up against one of them balls. And if you look at the gap now, Billy can get the cue ball off that top rail, which is key to contact in this 1. So Billy's favourite to make this shot now. If the cue ball was jammed up against, let's say, the purple, he's in a world of trouble. So he's made the hit.
Oh, so nearly scratched.
Yeah, the cue ball nearly went in the right centre. It didn't go in the right centre, so Albin's back at the table. There's an argument for saying he could have been back at the table with ball in hand. Now he has got a combo, yellow 1 onto the red 3 over the pocket. Cue ball will be flying around the table, so that is a big issue. It's not really easy to play safe. Decision time, Albin. Niels Fine on table 2. He's trying to beat Kelly Fisher for the first time in 3 days. He actually leads that match 3-0.
He's played the carom, and it's turned out very nicely.
Yeah, good vision. And when you're playing the carom like that, it's important that the cue ball flicks the rail before it hits the ball you're trying to pot. That way the cue ball doesn't stay near the pocket. It kind of flies around the table, and you're chancing your arm a little bit, but good shot.
Here's what Billy Thorpe thought of it. Puffing out the cheeks, back into his chair. He's great with the facial expressions, Billy. We saw so much of it all through the Mosconi Cup.
Well, Albin's not so bad himself with the old facial expressions, is he? We've seen plenty of them in 2.5 days.
Billy's are a bit more fun and amusing, though.
That was a good attempt from Albin. I mean, he's broke him out. I mean, he's got no given right to land on the 5 ball, so eggs in basket time. Do you take the bank on and spin the cue ball out for the 6, or do you play an easy hook? He's playing the bank and he's missed it. Good pace though. You can see the pace he's played it. Any amateur pool players out there watching? I mean, of course he was trying to make the bank, but because of the pace he played it, if he missed it, it wasn't going to bounce back over the other pocket or stay over the pocket he was trying. Billy's got a great chance of a hook here behind the 8 and the 7. Doesn't need to find the gap though. He doesn't need to find the gap.
Oh, what a mistake. We've seen him make mistakes with missed pots all day, but this one could be just as costly.
So Albin Ouschan has dodged a little bit of a bullet. Cued that one nicely.
Yeah, when he came to the table, that always looked like the biggest stumbling block. The first shot, needed to cue it well to get on the 6. Now if he just minds his work here, he's heading for his second hill finish of the day.
Yeah, he's got to be a little bit careful. He's got to draw high of the 8. Yeah, that's fine. There you can see Billy in the background. Billy pretty much knows he's going to be in a 1-rack shootout. Who's got the break, Michael? I've forgot.
Well, it's the man who's broken really well throughout the match, Albin Ouschan. So these were big moments in this match. This one could have gone either way. It's gone the way of the former world champion from Austria. And as we say, he will have the break in the decisive 9th rack.
Yeah, it's turning out to be a huge rack, this one. Over on table 2, Niels Fayen. He's trying to record his first win over the ladies world 9-ball champion. They've played each other on day 1 and 2. Both matches went to Kelly the Kicker Fisher's side, so this is a little milestone in Niels' little battle with Kelly. Now Albin Ouschan and Billy Thorpe have not won a match yet today. Darren Appleton, he's only on 1 win out of 3. He's up next against Albin on the match table, on table 1. So if Albin can win this rack, he will join Darren on the same wins at the same matches. So that would be an interesting match.
So back on the main table, 2 great competitors, Mosconi Cup rivals. A lot at stake for both of them, given the starts they've made. And it's been an intriguing battle between Ouschan and Thorpe. We've seen some unexpected misses, a few little quirky twists along the way, and there's never been more than a rack in it either way.
Thanks, guys. The final rack.
And now it all comes down to this. Who's going to get their first win at the 3rd attempt? Ouschan to break.
It's a good break. Cue balls took a last minute kiss and he's no shot. All the balls are open and it's going to be a difficult push out for Albin. Didn't park the cue ball, it was coming back.
And that's the frustrating thing about it. He's not far away from having a shot at the 2, and given the way they've broken, if he could just get through to it, it will be a chance to fill his boots.
Yeah, he's got to be a little bit careful because Billy is known for his banking skills, even though we've not seen that yet today, so it's not an easy push out this. He could push the cue ball over towards the left side of the table. The 2 doesn't pass the 9, but would Billy take a swipe at the combo? Tricky.
Push out called.
Yeah, so it's not the worst of shots. I mean, he's put the cue ball on the rail, so that makes the bank into the top left. Well, that makes it really hard.
Play again yet?
Billy's having none of that, so he puts his opponent back
Extension called.
at the table. Tricky spot this. Can't chip off it thin. He can't even play a 2-9 combo as a 2-way shot. Is he having a go at the bank? That's tricky as well, because you could slide off the 9 and scratch. It's close, but it's not in. So Billy, it's turned out to be a good decision to put his opponent back, and he's got a glorious, glorious chance to win his first point.
Yeah, there's been a feeling throughout much of this match that Thorpe has just been trying to hang on to Ouschan's coattails. The thing is, if you do that long enough, you're still in contention when you get to the business end of a match. And all you hope for then is a chance like this.
So he's got to pop this 3-ball, go 2 rails, back out into the middle. Anywhere in the middle of the table is fine. Almost dicing with the 8-ball, which is a little bit strange. I mean, what has happened here? Don't tell me the cue ball has sat on the 8. I mean, why is he even near the 8?
Yeah, he had no business straying into that territory. I said it's been a match of a few quirky twists along the way. Could it all end up being decided by another one in the last rack?
Well, that is up there with one of the worst shots I've ever seen. He's got the full middle of the table. Now he's got to play a little swerve. He will know how difficult this swerve shot is. So he's put a little bit of swerve on it, so it's actually kind of got away with that. It could have been a lot worse than it was. But he's still not out of the woods yet, Michael.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, to be fair, he shouldn't have put himself in that danger, but you have to give him credit for the way he's got himself back out of it again. And surely, having survived that little scare, he'll be so determined not to let this opportunity pass him by now.
And he's playing the bank shot. Where's the cue ball?
Keeping us guessing about the outcome right up to the finish, isn't he? This hasn't been plain sailing at all. Albin Ouschan, you know, lost his first 2 matches yesterday. He did then win his 3rd in a hill-hill finish. So it looks as though it's going to be an even worse start for him today. Billy Thorpe 2 balls away from getting his first win. It'll be the first win for the American contingent in a live situation, really, because Chris Robinson did win 1 match in his group, but he was already out of the tournament by then. Albin Ouschan, who has broken so well and so effectively throughout this match, had the break in the last rack, but he couldn't make it count this time, and Billy Thorpe has beaten him by 5 racks to 4. The man from Ohio gets his first win in Group 3 of the Predator Championship League.